Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Ladies Lounge with Wonder Lowe. I am your host and show creator, Wonder Lowe. Some of y'all already know that because you've been tuning in from the beginning. And just in case you haven't, please go over right now and like our page on Facebook. And it's the Ladies Lounge with Wonder Lowe on Facebook. And it's also the Ladies Lounge with Wonder Lowe on Instagram. We now have a new page that is on YouTube. So if you want to subscribe to our YouTube page, please go over and do that also. Um, Hold on just a second. Let me get my guests together here. Okay, I cannot see you. I'm going to take you off the screen for just a second until we can see you, okay? All right. So anyway, we always have some kind of technical difficulties, and you know me, it always works out. So in the meantime, while we're waiting on the guests to be able to get on, let's just talk a little bit about what's going on right now. Right now, we are in the middle of early voting in Arkansas. It started October 19th, which was yesterday, and it's going to go all the way out, I think, to the 26th or so. Make sure that if you can, please go out and get in line. I know that I've heard people say they've stood in line for 4 hours, or they've stood in line even a little bit longer. It is worth doing. So I haven't gone yet, but my plan is to go tomorrow to do early voting in my area. So make sure that you take you something comfortable, wear some comfortable shoes if you're going to have to be standing for a while. Maybe take you a snack or two, maybe a couple of bottles of water just in case. Today was a nice day. It was beautiful outside and it was a little bit warm. So just in case tomorrow is the same way, make sure that you're going to be comfortable and that nothing's going to be happening with you while you're standing in line. We have a special show, and I'll go ahead and plug this now before we get too far in. We have a special show that's going to come up tomorrow where we're going to have Pulaski County Circuit and County Clerk Terry Hollingsworth on, and she's going to be talking about voting, absentee voting, early voting, and all those other things. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. Now, normally we don't do a show on Wednesday, but we're going to be doing one tomorrow. So make sure that you tune in tomorrow at 7 o'clock. At 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock tomorrow, 3 p.m. tomorrow. And you'll hear Terry Hollingsworth talk about voting and some other things going on around the county and around the state. Like we said last week, make sure that you are paying attention to your local elections, that you're going out and you're voting for your city directors, your aldermen, your councilmen, your mayors, or any of those people who are running right now. School district elections are also going on. So if you live in a place that there is a school district and there's an election going on, I beg of you to make sure that you participate in that. Make sure that you find out as much as you can about each candidate, and then that you vote accordingly. These are the folks that are going to decide what type of education and other things that your kid's going to get. Your city councilman, your alderman, all those people are going to decide what your community looks like on a local level. So make sure that you're participating in voting at every single level, that you vote locally, that you vote on your state level, and that you vote on your federal level. I'm going to get off my voting soapbox because we're going to talk more about that tomorrow night. Tonight, I'm going to do an introduction, then I'm going to pause for just a second to kind of help my guests get in. We're having a little bit of technical difficulty with being able to see her on the camera. But I want to just give you a heads up that tonight, a lot of us know that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And ladies and gentlemen, and I think I said this last time, make sure that we are going to get our mammograms, that we're getting our exams, and that also that you're doing your self-exams. So tonight, our guest is Heather Kindy, and she's going to talk a lot about what breast cancer is, how to go get your mammogram, what happens during the mammogram, all those things. And I can share my experience from when I had mine. So make sure that you stay tuned. Just give me a couple seconds. I'm going to help her real quick, and we're going to get the show started. So I wish I had some music to play in the background for you. Y'all want me to hum to you until I'm back on? So you give me a few seconds and let's see if we can get her in. Make sure. Okay. Every once in a while, this thing will give folks the blues. So let me see if I can add her to the stream. I can see that she's there, but I can't see her There she is. Something was coming. Hopefully she'll be able to get in just a second. If not, Heather, can you hear me?
I can hear you and I can see you.
Okay, well, we can't see you. We see a pretty little circle.
I don't know what's the deal. I've used the video before.
Mm-hmm.
It says that, well, it says you're on the show now. Everyone can see and hear you, but
Yes,
I see it's black.
Yeah. Now this is a weird question. Is your camera uncovered?
It is uncovered. I did make sure. I do know those little safety things.
Okay.
Do you think I should just go off and try to come back in?
Yeah, you can. But we don't have anything to do but wait on you to get here. So if you want to log out here quickly and log back in, that'll be perfect. Let me take you off. All right. Okay, y'all. I promise we have a show. I promise. So in the meantime, let's talk about some other stuff that's going on. We had a show a couple of weeks ago at the beginning of the school year about educating during the pandemic. Those ladies or those educators are going to come back next week. I think I told y'all last week, this week, but it's next week. They're going to come back next week, and we're going to talk about this first 9 weeks and how kids are doing. Most of you, if you have kids that are doing in school, I think in school is probably going as well as it can go with everything going on and trying to social distance and making sure the teachers are healthy and the students are healthy. But I think that the kids that are doing virtual learning may be having a little bit more of a harder time. And I say that because I know several kids that are struggling with that. And I've heard other parents talk about some of the struggles that their kids are encountering. So we'll be next week talking about, what was this first 9 weeks like with virtual and in-school learning, and whether or not the kids are actually getting it. Is it working well? Is it not working? What can we do as parents and grandparents to kind of help our kids do better and to maybe stay caught up. Now, I will say this from working with my nephew. If you are doing virtual learning, sweetie, you got to have some patience. I think sometimes the course load and how many assignments they're loading is kind of unrealistic. He has 7 classes. And in one class alone, in one day, one instructor loaded 6 assignments. And that's one class. He had 7. And as sometimes I noticed that there's an overload in each one of those classes to maybe get the kids caught up or to get more work done. But it's kind of overwhelming for them. So I don't know if that's something that, okay. I don't know if that's something. Okay, I see you.
Oh, good.
But no, I don't see you this time. It's still a black screen.
I don't know. I've checked my camera and it says it's allowed.
Okay. Well, anyway, we can hear you, so we can still talk.
Okay.
Okay. I hate that we can't see you. I wish I knew how to look. I'm not tech savvy enough to know how to put a picture up there to be you right now, but
well, that's okay.
Yeah, we're just gonna work with what we got. Well, thank you. I appreciate you trying to get on coming on this evening. And I was talking about online school and virtual school for kids right now. But we're gonna go ahead and get started on our show tonight because I want ladies and gentlemen that are watching to make sure that you're paying attention because we're going to be talking about breast cancer and early detection. And Heather's been on the show before. When I was on radio, she was on my show then. And she was the first person I thought of again this year to call to make sure we get somebody in the studio to talk about breast cancer again. So Heather, welcome to the show again.
Thank you.
Yep, I appreciate you being able to hop on. I know that you've had a long day today. You all have been on the memo van today, right?
Yes, ma'am. We were actually in Dumas today, down in DeShay County.
Yep, that is my main hometown. I'm from Dumas.
Okay, well, we were in that area today. So today.
All right. Well, I'm going to give just a little brief introduction of you, and then you can add whatever you want to add. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Ms. Heather Kindy attended St. Vincent Radiology School. She's certified in mammography and facial navigation. She's been doing mammography since 2005, which is about 15 years. She worked at Conway Regional for the first 5 years and she started with UAMS mobile mammogram in 2010 when the program first started. Heather lives in Benton. She's married to Jeremiah. She has 2 boys, Colson and Hudson. So that's my brief one. Now you can tell us whatever else you want us to know.
That's just a little gist of me. I did, like I said, I went to school there in St. Vincent's. I lived in Conway at the time, so I started with their breast center, which was really nice. I had a great radiologist to work with and to help train me, and got a good feel for the whole modality. And was ready for a change, and I had no idea how big of a change the mammo van was going to be. It is quite an adventure. And it's kind of like my baby. I've been with it, since it started, and we're really proud. We've made it 10 years. So we're at our 10-year mark, and we screen around 2,000 ladies a year.
Wow.
And we found, numerous breast cancers, and, helped a lot of ladies over our last 10 years. So it's been a blessing.
Oh, that sounds like it has been. Let's just jump right into it. And I know most people are going there. We know what breast cancer is. We've heard of it. We, kind of have an idea, but I always like to start with the basics. So talk a little bit about what breast cancer is.
So breast cancer is actually when the cells within the breast tissue grow out of control or abnormally. And it can be due to a genetic defect, or this can just be something that's brought on, whether it's through hormones or environmental factors. There's obviously different causes for breast cancers, but that is actually the cells within the breast that are out of control, abnormal, or mutate.
Okay.
Eventually, those cells, because they do produce so quickly and out of control, they will overcome the healthy cells.
Okay. Now, what are some of the signs, that we should be looking for? Because we talk about doing a self-breast exam every month, but what are some of the things that we should be looking for so that we can detect it early if it starts?
Well, I always say that you will be your best nurse. You will know when things are different and wrong with your body well before anyone else. So the self-breast exam and paying attention to your body is very important. Obvious things that people think about are, a lump, a palpable mass, a rounded ridge, something that you can actually feel, swelling of the breast, irritation, or what we call dimpling, where the skin may be pulling in a little differently in an area. There can be a redness or flaky part of the skin, especially if it's around the nipple area. Of course, if you have any type of nipple discharge, especially if it's dark or bloody, and just the overall, visual appearance of the breast or you need to pay attention to the whole breast.
Okay. Now, when you talk about having the discharge, is that now? This is for some folks. This is going to probably gross them out, but we have to talk about it. Is that discharge in the nipple? Because I've heard of people having discharge from, I guess, I don't know what you call the other little areas around your areola.
That is correct. The discharge will be from your nipple area.
Okay.
And for moms who have lactated, or for some women, it can be a normal discharge, but it would be something new or different. You would definitely want to visit with your physician. Let them look at that. Some women have more dilated ducts, and so that fluid can, come out a little easier, and it be a completely benign thing. But it also can be, a sign of a cancer, especially if it's that darker color or bloody at all.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So we definitely want to look for those things.
Now the dimpling, that kind of talk about that just a little bit, what that'll kind of give an idea of what that would look like.
One of the parts of a breast exam is to visually stand upright in front of a mirror and lean forward a little bit so that your breast will kind of lay a little bit. And if it doesn't have that natural flow and curvature, think of like a push pin going into the breast where it would kind of draw up in that dimpling area where the push, so to speak, would be.
Mm-hmm.
It would be that the natural hanging of the breast would look differently.
Okay. Well, kind of talk about, how the breast cancer can be detected. Because if we're doing our monthly breast exam, we feel a lump or we feel something that's abnormal. Talk about the next step. I know we should get a mammogram, but just kind of talk about the next steps to getting a mammogram.
You're correct. As far as our baseline for detection is, we call it the trifecta. It's three things: your breast exam, your yearly breast exam by a practitioner, and then your yearly mammogram. Those are the three things that you want to do in combination each year to help prevent your breast cancers. So yes, if you were doing your own self breast exam, you were to find an area of concern, whether it's reddening, lumps, swelling, irritation, any of the things that we've mentioned, you would want to contact your practitioner first. If you do not have a practitioner, we are very fortunate around our state to have a lot of local health departments. So you could get in. They also hire, or they have a practitioner on staff at all time. And they would need to order what's called a diagnostic exam.
Okay.
It's different than your yearly mammogram. With that diagnostic mammogram, you're going to have additional imaging of that area of concern, as well as an ultrasound. And so that area is evaluated more in depth.
Okay.
Those are done in your, traditional breast centers. There will be a radiologist there, and they will look at your imaging while you're there.
Okay. And I think when I had mine done last year, I had a diagnostic done. And I'll be honest with you, it scared me just a little bit because what she saw was just a calcium deposit. But to make sure that that's all it was, is that they did a diagnostic one. So I just encourage women, even if you feel the smallest thing. Now, I'm going to be honest, I didn't feel it when I did my own exam. She actually felt it when the doctor did it. She felt it. And she did the diagnostic from there. And thank God it was nothing other than just a calcium deposit. But, having her to do that diagnostic and take it that step further to make sure that there was nothing wrong. I was comfortable with that, and I was happy that she did do it, but I was also really grateful that that's all it was. So, yeah. Talk a little bit about, once you have a mammogram, what's the age limit? I think we didn't say anything about that. What age limit should women start getting mammograms?
So the age limit the age that we recommend you start having a yearly mammogram is 40. And that is for your yearly regular mammogram.
Okay.
At any point in time you ever have a sign or symptom that is an issue, you need to see your physician, and that could warrant you to come in earlier in that diagnostic mammogram. But your yearly regular mammograms, we do recommend at 40. We do recommend that they are yearly, every year after 40. You don't get to skip a year. And we are encouraging women to visit with their provider, their insurance coverage, or what type of coverage that they have, because some insurances are covering younger now. They may start at 35 or 38. My particular insurance did start before 40, and I've actually had 2 mammograms already. So I encourage women to check with your provider. If you're able to get one before 40 and you have that opportunity, then we do definitely encourage that. But at least at 40. The thing that's a little bit of a gray area is if you have had a first degree relative, that is a mother, a sister, or a daughter who have had breast cancer, then a little bit of a different category. And we say that you need to start your mammograms 10 years prior to that first degree relative's diagnosis. So, for example, if your mother was 50 when she was diagnosed with her breast cancer, you would still start at 40. But if your mother was 45 when she had her breast cancer, you would need to start at 35.
Okay.
So if I guess you could kind of say if your first degree relative has had breast cancer prior to the age of 50, then you would probably want to start yours earlier.
Okay. And that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, for especially when you're looking at early detection and making sure that you're catching, doing the test early enough to catch something. So yeah, that makes sense.
And we do always say that you don't want your breast cancer to ever be large enough to feel. You always want to find that early on the mammogram. There are countless cases of, cancers that are found never feel on the mammogram. And so that's why it's, they can say, I don't feel anything and, this, that, and another, but that yearly mammogram is really key.
Yeah. Okay. So now let's talk about the big thing, and that's what happens during the mammogram. And I will just be honest and share this. I am, as my doctor put it, I'm well endowed. And, people say, oh, it doesn't hurt, just get it done. Oh my God, I thought she was going to pull it off. It hurt. I'll be honest, it hurt me, but I think I'm tender anyway. But even though it was a weird experience, it is very cold. It was very cold. And it did hurt, it hurt. But I was grateful to have it done. I was grateful that there was nothing wrong. But I just so people know, realistically, okay, yeah, there can be a little bit discomfort. It can be uncomfortable. And, if you are a certain height, you got to tiptoe a little bit, or the machine is cold, or whatever the case is. God forbid the nurse's hands are cold. Because one time, the first time I had it, I was like, I need you to warm your hands first. Fingers felt like ice cubes.
Oh,
your fingers are freezing. And she kept apologizing. I'm like, can you put gloves on or something? I mean, it's only a couple of minutes out of whatever time you have, and just get it done. I mean, it's uncomfortable, and I think of as women, we suffer a lot of exams that are very uncomfortable, and this is just one of them. And this you can save your life just like the other ones can. So get it done.
Yeah.
But talk about what happens during the mammogram.
Yes. So we do try to, I think if you can have a connection with your technologist and you can visit and talk, that helps to get you at ease. And it can make the entire process a little bit easier. But you do have a technologist that has cold hands, or maybe it's just having her best day, or something to that effect. It can definitely make things go differently. So that's kind of what's neat with us on the van, is we're not in that hostile hospital environment, so we can kind of make it a little more fun and easier. But I think that everyone having a good attitude coming into it is very, very important. It's like you said, it's not the most favorite 10 minutes of your day, but it is a very important exam, and it truly could save your life. It's a huge point that as women, there's several things in life we do that can cause some discomfort, but it's so worth it. So keeping that in mind, I think with a positive attitude is very important. Traditionally, all women will have at least 4 images. You'll have where you're standing, straight forward, and then there's also some side views. Many women have more than those 4 images. So if you go in and have some additional side views, or maybe what we call a cleavage view or a nipple in profile, those are very normal, and that is just sure that we get all of your anatomy included. So expect a few images on both breasts. It is a little bit harder in the wintertime. I do agree it's a little cooler for everyone involved, and so having to take your tops and bra off is not the most fun. But in the summertime, it's warm and you're sweaty, so it's a hit or miss. We do try to keep somewhat of a comfortable temperature, but unfortunately, the equipment we have cannot get too hot, or it has problems. And so it's not completely something that we can have nice and cozy. But typically, your exam should take around 10 minutes, so it's not a huge, long exam. You're only in compression for a few seconds, for each image. Women have totally different pain tolerances. Everyone has different breast tissue. And so I think what, like I said before, is very important that you're working with that technologist in the best manner to get the best images for all. And I do try to let patients know, especially if it's their first time, that we are going to have compression. It is going to be tight. That is the only way we detect, is to spread that tissue out. Mm-hmm. It may be uncomfortable, but it is only for a few seconds. And we really don't want to hurt you. If there is something pulling or tearing, or it is, definitely let us know. We can always, back up, reposition, and start over. I don't know that I've ever had anyone just have to leave, but they just couldn't, finish the exam. Mm-hmm. We really do try to make it pleasant.
It's one of those things that you like you said, it's 10 minutes out of your life. It is uncomfortable, but it is something that can save your life. So it's worth the compression. It's worth the discomfort. It's worth all of it, for you to have that peace of mind to know that nothing is going on. And I was one of those folks that had to have the 4-part thing done. She was like, yes. Girl, you got some side stuff. I was like, how many pictures did you kind of got a lot going on. I was like, okay. Okay, I can handle it. Just 1 minute. But it was what it was, and I lived through it. So, like it came out and it was fine. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and keeping some humor with it is always good.
After a while, it does get funny, because she was like, look, girl, you got to turn this way. And I was like, you're just flopping it around like that. She kept moving. Okay, look, you lead me around by whatever direction she went, I had to go with her. So, I mean, it did, after a while, it did get kind of funny. But stuff like that never bothers me, because I know it's for my good. So you laugh and you just go with it. But I just don't want women walking in thinking, oh, it's just going to be so easy. They're going to take a little picture. No, sweetie, they're going to smash it.
Yes.
And that's how they're going to make sure that it's okay. And it plumps back up. It goes back to where it's supposed to go.
It absolutely does.
Yeah, so you'll be totally fine after. Tell folks, if they want to get the mammo van to come to their community like you all did in Domus today, how would they get in touch, or what would they do to get you down there?
Well, thankfully, since our program has been going for the last 10 years, we have lots of counties and areas that were already kind of established and have a route to come. And so we always invite new patients and new contacts to get involved with those areas already. And then in addition to that, if there are new areas that we can reach out to and process to, it's all funneled through our same 1-800 number.
Okay.
And we can give that now or later, or both.
You can go ahead and give it now if you want to.
It's our 1-800 line. And like I said, if you have questions, concerns, want to schedule an event, or just schedule a mammogram at one of our already facilities, we just have one main number, which keeps it very easy. And that's 1-800-259-8794. And so we always invite ladies to call there. My name, of course, is Heather, and I am the supervisor of the program. And so you can always ask to speak to me if you have a specific question. We're currently a staff of 4, which is the most we've ever had. So it's very exciting. Thankfully, if as far as scheduling and a lot of things that, anyone will be able to assist you with. So.
Okay. And I just posted that phone number, and I did specify that it's for Arkansas only, because I have people that are watching from other parts of the country. I don't want them calling you.
Yes, ma'am.
No, we can just do Arkansas. So I made sure I put Arkansas only. Yes,
we are traveling throughout Arkansas. Mm-hmm. We try really hard to set up in areas. I don't know if everyone is familiar, but we have 75 counties here within the state. Mm-hmm. we have 75 mammography facilities that are approved by the FDA.
Okay.
And it would be great if all 75 of those counties was one in each county of the state, but they are not. There are more than 25 counties here in our state that do not have a mammogram facility within that county.
Wow.
Those are our harder hit areas, and those are what we definitely try to target to make access a lot easier. We do go to, all areas of the state, though. We do go to some counties because it may be here, but the county may be X amount of miles long. Mm-hmm. And even though it's in your county, technically you can still live, quite a ways from it. So we try to eliminate that barrier of travel and make it easier. I mentioned before that we try to take away that stigmatism of a big hospital. Mm-hmm. You pull right up to our van and walk in. You don't come to UAMS because it's a nightmare to try to park. Try to eliminate that issue. We help a lot of women that work because they can take off for their lunch break, or maybe, just their boss will let them come out for 15 or 20 minutes versus taking a half day and driving in and going, to get their mammogram. Mm-hmm. We also can help some of our elderly ladies that drive around locally in their community, but don't drive to the larger cities. So they can still have freedom and not have to bother their daughter or someone to help get them to their exam.
That is awesome. Okay, so it is open to pretty much everyone. Now let me ask a question, because I know it might be some guy that might be watching. Have you ever done a mammogram on the mammo van for a guy?
So on our unit, we do screening mammograms only, which is presenting to us for your yearly traditional mammogram. Anytime a gentleman would be coming in for a mammogram, there would be a type of reason that would warrant a diagnostic mammogram. Mm-hmm. Maybe that they feel something, that they have tenderness, some sort of trauma to the breast that needs to be looked at. Or some people have a very large family history. Their sister, their mother, their aunt, their grandmother have all had breast cancer. It puts them at a higher risk. And so they may visit with their physician and they may be getting a diagnostic. So we don't necessarily discriminate because they're male, but because the type of exam that we provide, males do not get.
Okay. And just kind of quickly, since we're talking about that, what are some of the signs and symptoms that a man should be looking for?
They're essentially the same. There is not a type of breast cancer that only females have and males do not. So the same thing, any type of lump, any type of discharge, redness, flaking, especially around the nipple area, swellness, warm to touch, really anything that would be for a female would be for a male as well.
Okay. So guys, let's know we didn't leave you out of it. We want to make sure that you had the same information that the ladies are getting.
Yes. And another thing, a lot of, people ask, well, how do you do a mammogram on a male? And it's the exact same way. We do the exact same images. They will have more breast tissue than you think. Mm-hmm. So it is the same type method as well.
Okay. Yeah, but we don't know, but that's really uncomfortable then.
It can be, for sure.
I can see that. Okay. Yeah. Well, brother, we are at about 33 minutes in. So do you have any other information that you want to provide, or you want to give some contact information?
We just, want to express the importance of mammograms. Of course, October is our month that we celebrate that, but that is not the only month that you can get your mammogram. Mm-hmm. I think it's real important that you encourage women and try to not make them scared or afraid to come. Let them know that it's very important.
Yes.
Some women that come kind of in groups and they make it fun. They go do a lunch date afterwards, or, something to sort of make it very important. I think our statistics now are almost 1 in 8 women will have breast cancer in their life. I just had my 39th birthday, and I know that, myself and several of my friends are approaching that age, and it's kind of scary, to think, breast cancer unfortunately affects all of us, whether it's their family, friends, coworkers. And so it's just very important that we encourage each other to have mammograms, whether it's your local facility, with us, we are just here as one opportunity. We just want everyone to be getting their mammograms.
Yes, ma'am.
Very, very important.
Yeah. Let me clear up something because I don't want anybody saying I was scared because of what you said. That was my experience, and like you said, everybody's different. I can be a little bit soft. That's a nice way of saying it. But I don't want to scare anybody away from going to get it done. And if you need somebody to go with you, and I'm serious about this, you have to look close to me now. Can't fly out of state to come with you. But if you're close to me and really seriously, if you're afraid to go and you want somebody to go with you, please give me a call. And my contact information is on my page. If you'll just find me on Facebook, my contact information is there. My email address is there. I would be willing to go with you because I went by myself the first time, and mine was after being told that there was a lump, but we needed to do the diagnostic to find out what was really going on. So I went, and I was afraid, and I was by myself, and I don't want somebody else to feel that way. So if you want to go and get your test, and you're in the Little Rock area, or Benton, or Conway, or Saline County, somewhere around close, and you want to go with you, I'll go with you. I'll hold your hand back you, and I ain't gonna watch. But I'll hold your hand if you need me to go with you because it is so serious, and it's very important that as women we do go ahead and get your mammograms, especially if you're over 40, and especially if you have a family history. So please, like I said, get in contact with me if you just need somebody to go with you for more support, or just hang out with you for a few minutes after, because for some people, certain testing can be traumatic. And I understand that. So I don't want you to go through it alone, and I don't want you to feel like, it's so bad or so painful that you cannot go and get it done. It's about, like you said, a hot 10 minutes. It's over with, but it's worth the peace of mind. It's worth knowing what your conditions are, knowing what's going on with your body, so that if something is there, you can detect it early and we can work on it. So make sure that I'm dead serious about that, y'all. I will go with you if you need me to. So, make sure that you get it done. Men, I don't know about y'all then. I might not go with y'all. But I'll encourage you to go. How about that?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, Heather, thank you so much. I sure appreciate you taking time, because I know you all are still probably coming from Dumas or on the road or traveling, whatever. I appreciate your time this evening. I hope that everybody listening or who watches later on, that you get some information that's useful to you. Again, get your mammograms, not just all year long, but make sure that you're doing your breast exams every month. That you're talking, finding out your family history. Making sure that you know what runs in your family, because that's also important in the prevention side of things. So, you want any last words, Ms. Keller?
No, I think that's about it. Like I said, if anyone, needs to contact us, whether to schedule an appointment or see about an event, you put that 1-800 number up. Mm-hmm. And we just hope everyone has a good evening and continues to encourage breast cancer screenings.
All right. Well, thank you again. All right, y'all. Come back tomorrow at 3 p.m. We'll be visiting with Pulaski County Circuit and County Clerk Terry Hollingsworth, and we'll be talking about voting, absentee voting, locations, early voting, all of that good stuff, so that we can get everybody educated on how to make sure that they're casting their vote, and that you're knowing where you're supposed to go to do that and how to do it. So again, come back tomorrow evening, Wednesday, October 21st at 3 p.m. We'll be back again live here on the Ladies Lounge. I'm Wanda Lowe, your host. I appreciate you all watching. Thank you for those of you who have liked my page. Please go over and subscribe to the side. We're trying to build it also. And we'll see you again tomorrow evening. But know that every Tuesday, 7 p.m., we're right here in the Ladies Lounge. And we have an exciting guest for you every time. So make sure that you all come back. And Heather, thank you again. And y'all have a safe trip back home.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Bye.